Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about stenciling. I have upcycled some things that would have ended up in the trash had there not been for paint and stencils. I had a new ceiling fan put in, so I kept the blades of that, and I also had some old um, placemats that I was no longer using, but they were in good shape, so I used those. So come along with me while we paint and stencil. At the end of the video, I will also be showing you what they look like before, but right now we're going to jump right in. Here you can see I've already painted. This is a ceiling fan blade, and I painted it black because instead of going white with black lettering, I decided to try black with white lettering. And let me say this, I am partnering with Essential Stencils, and I'm going to show you, and I'm showing you right now, how sturdy they are. These are the best stencils. Further down in the video, I'm going to use another stencil that is not from Essential, and you will see the difference. It's so flimsy and so hard to work with. Essential stencils can be reused, as I'll show you how I clean this one up after I stencil it on. But right now, we're just going to put the stencil on. You can see my technique. I make sure it's flat. I'm going to add some painter's tape as well to hold it in place while I'm stenciling it. But this stencil is the material is so thick until there's not a whole lot of prep work to do. You just put it where you want it, you tape it down, and it works wonders. And you'll see that in a minute. So let's just watch and see how this works out. And eventually I'll get to the more flimsy stencil that we have, or that I'm using in this demonstration, and I'll show you how that works. But let me say this too. Isn't it great that you can take something old like a ceiling fan blade and turn it into something else? I'm planning to use this on a gallery wall that I'm doing. I'm going to put it up with the command strips where you don't have to have any hooks or anything on it, and I think it's going to turn out great. So I'll show you the gallery wall, or I'll reveal, as they say out here in YouTube land, when that's all done. But right now, I'm just going to start stenciling. Also, guys, let me say this. I'm using sponge pounce brushes instead of regular brushes. These seem to work best for me. Um, I'll be I'll leave a link down below from where I got those. I bought a huge pack, such a good bargain, and I'll leave a link down below for that. I'll also be leaving a link for the essential stencils as well. But for now, you can see that it's not. It doesn't take a lot of paint. I don't even go into the jar. I'm only using paint from the top, and that's going to do this entire stencil. So it's quick and easy, and a great way to add a little pop to anything that you're doing. If you're painting a table, if you're doing something like I'm doing here for the wall, and you know these signs are just all the rage right now, so you can make your own, and it's not that bad, and you can do it using old wood, or like I'm using here. I'm upcycling, so they're not hard to come by, and the cost is little or nothing. For this one, the cost is actually, I'm thinking nothing, because I had the ceiling fan blades, and I had the placemats, I had the paint, I already had the brushes because I ordered those in bulk, and I have the stencil. So um, I'm going to be adding a little pop to my wall, a beautiful sign or two, without having to spend really any money. So that's another good thing about stenciling. And voila, guys, look at how clean and crisp that paint is. I know you're looking upside down right now, but there's nothing outside the lines. It's clean, the lines are straight, it's crisp, and it was a very quick process. Now what I'm going to do is remove the tape, and then I'm going to clean the stencil. I use a regular all-purpose cleaner. I spray it on, and I wipe it off with a soft cloth. But look at how clean and crisp that is. Nothing outside the lines. There are no touch-ups required. It just comes out exactly as you expect it would. Now, it looks a little distressed and country, and I did that on purpose. You could always add your paint a little heavier than I did if you didn't want that look. But to clean this, I'm using my Mrs. Meyer's. It's an all-purpose cleaner, and it's gentle. And then I'm going to wipe it off with a soft cloth. Just take the paint off while it's still wet, and then I'll store it flat. If you can see the one above it, that's also an essential stencil, and it's grateful. And you can see that there's a little shadow around the lettering, and that's because I've used it but with a dark paint and cleaned it, and now it's ready to be used again. And that's just how easy it is with these stencils. And as you can see here, I'm putting it back in the original packaging so that it'll be stored flat, and there will be no, the letters will stay down so that when I'm ready to use it again, there won't be any peaks and valleys, so the paint will not be seeping through. It's just that easy. It's just, it's a good quality stencil. And certain words, especially if you have like an Etsy shop or you do any kind of vendoring, where you take your products out, you don't want a stencil that you can only use once. And these fit the bill. I will be using these stencils for quite some time, I think, because they're just of such good quality. So I'm going to store these, and then now here I want to show you that this is not an essential stencil. I have used it once, as you can see, with the yellow paint around the lettering, but look at how flimsy this is. I'm going to have to tape it in several places. The letters are coming up. This will, I'm sure, look at this. This will, I'm sure, be the last time that I can ever use this, because when the lettering comes up, like you're seeing that F in the front of Faith, then it seeps under, and then you have to retouch, and it's just a lot of work. And taping is a hassle too, because you have to try and tape that down but still leave the lettering so that the paint can go where it needs to go to create the letter, to form the letter. So this is just to show you the type of stencil that you do not want to use for these types of projects. It makes your project a little messy, and it takes a lot more time. So this is just to show you what not to do. As you can see here, this is a lot messier. I'm having to hold it down in different places, and I'm hoping that the paint doesn't seep through. But I think once I lift this, I'm going to have some retouching to do. But you see where I have to do. I didn't have to do all of this when I was using the more sturdy stencil. So this is the type of stencil that you don't want if you're going to be doing a lot of this. And one other tip for you, as far as the brushes go, if I were going to reuse that brush, I would wrap it in saran wrap so that it would not dry out. And then it'll stay in saran wrap for a day or two, and you can reuse it. Because you know how sometimes you start a project and you don't get to finish it and you have to come back to it. Okay, so that was just another little tip there. But back to this stencil, you see how the letters are sticking up, and I'm looking, and I'm going to have to do some touch up here as well, and I will show you where in just a bit. Do you see there on the outside of the H, there's going to have to be some touching up, um, and I'm pointing to, and on the outside of the H there as well, there at the F. Yeah, it's going to need some touching up, and that's just because the stencil was not as sturdy as one would like it to be. So that, I believe, is going to be the last use of that stencil. So now I will have to purchase another stencil that says Faith if I ever intend to make another sign or to put Faith someplace else, which I probably will. That's pretty much it, guys. An upcycle using paint and stenciling, turning nothing into something. I think these are going to be quite attractive on my gallery wall, and I'll be sure to reveal that once it's done. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do so below, and remember to click on the bell so that you'll receive notification of upcoming videos. There will be other upcycling videos, also recipes, decorating, and of course my love of love organization. So again, I hope this video has been encouraging and that you'll take another look at some things that you thought you had to throw away and maybe find a new way of upcycling and using them in your home. So until next time, I remind you to always remain in your element. Remember that I love you, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye-bye for now.